What is quacking, everybody? So Splatoon comp has been trending on my timeline the last couple days, and it's about the comp scene dying, and I've been reading through a lot of what people have been saying and their feelings. So is Splatoon comp dying? Short answer is no, it's not dying. We have that Splatoon championship where if you win one of the lands in the US, you get to play in the online championship and you get to play and have a good time. We still also have regular weekly tournaments hosted by the Shoal and IPL that are outputting tournaments, and people are playing in those constantly, along with smaller people hosting tournaments such as myself, where I host mine for cash prizes. So we still have people hosting tournaments and people are turning up for tournaments. So Splatoon comp is not dying. The long answer is it is complicated. Could it die? Absolutely. Will it die? I don't think so. So it's just really complicated in that aspect. I think probably the biggest issue that really kicked off this whole thing that probably made people feel a certain way, not necessarily posting, but, feel differently about how the game is going to be moving forward, is the fact that we are receiving no more new updates. And I think that's definitely given a lot of people pause to look back and look at the game and look at its future for the most part and what they want out of it. A lot of people like to just go, oh, there's no more updates, game's dead, wait till Splatoon 4. That's not really the case because there's other games that people religiously play that have no major updates whatsoever. You still people play Smash Melee, for example. There's still people who play the older Marvel vs. Capcom games. There's still people who play Smash 64. So there's still people who play games that do not have consistent updates on a competitive level. And Splatoon 2 was absolutely no different as well. People were still playing Splatoon 2 with no major updates whatsoever. So Splatoon 3, I don't think will be any different from that. But I think this is kind of a lull period where, we're all just going to kind of reflect for the most part, and I think probably towards somewhere through this next year we're definitely probably going to get back into the swing of things, especially once the Ludi season kicks off for sure. But right now I think the thing slowing everything down is the fact that it's the holiday seasons and we know that there's no more updates, so it's given a lot of people pause for reflection on the game. Also, another thing contributing to a lot of things is burnout. Some people have been playing this game non-stop since launch, and now because there's no major updates, some people don't feel like playing anymore, and I feel like a lot of y'all have just been burning out. Some people have like 5,000-6,000 hours in this game, and that is an insane number. That is crazy. So it seems like a lot of people are also burnt out. You even had people like, top level players like Kyo and Gray speaking about how they've never taken a break from comp really, or they've just like been grinding out this game just to get better. So it's just like, yeah, of course people are going to be burnt out, especially some of the top level players who have been playing since Splatoon 1. And if you're going based off of them, then yeah, you might think the scene's dying because all the top level players are just burnt out. But they have every reason to be burnt out. They've been playing since Splatoon 1. Like, that's astronomically insane. But also you still have people who have been playing, just Splatoon 3. They're new to the franchise and they're trying to, grind and grow. And they're burnt out on it because they spent like 5,000-6,000 hours on the game since launch. And now, there's no updates. There's nothing for them to look forward to. People are reflecting on the fact of, oh, hey, like, should I keep playing this game? Or, what is there for me to gain from this game after grinding it out for so long? Because some of these people, like, they just play the game to grind the game and, just to play and try to get better. But the actual grind to get better is just astronomically, insanely hard to climb up as well. When you have to look at how you have to grind to get to the top in the first place, you have to make sure you find 3 other people who are on the same page as you. You have to religiously play this game and, like, really meticulously focus on individual things. You can't just load up the game and play the game. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to load into X rank and just like swing my weapon around a little bit. I'm just going to shoot people and figure it out. Like, you got to sit there and be like, do this, do this. You got to dissect your gameplay. You got to watch people play the game. Like, everything about getting better at this game is just consuming the game on a very meticulous, detailed level, and it's a lot harder to get better at the game than just, oh, I'm just gonna like load up the game and play. Because if you just play the game with no direction, you're just gonna instill bad habits and just fumble and not get any better because you're sitting there just playing on bad habits and you're not understanding why. Whereas if you want to like grind and do the deep dive to get better, like it's a long way up that hill. And then, not to mention the fact that this is a team based game as well. So, if you're trying to make it to the top, you're trying to win, you need to have three other people on the same page as you, three other people who are going to be just as dedicated as you, and work through every single little thing, coming up with game plans with those people. Like, those people will be like your family. And that's what makes the comp scene very difficult to thrive when that's the barrier to entry. And I'm not talking about people just being able to slap together, pick up and play a tournament. Like anybody can do that. That's fine. If you want to have fun, go play in a tournament and do a pickup. That's totally fine. Like I do that. A lot of people do that. So there's that. But if you want to get better and be at the top, you got to have that barrier and break through it. And it can definitely be difficult to find those people that you vibe with, that you gel with, who have the same aspirations, who are willing to try and reach the top with you. And that's definitely just something that makes playing comp in this game a lot harder, is finding 3 to 4 other people to do that with. And then on top of that, you have to factor in the meta aspect as well of the game, where the meta is cooler and pencil, and that's pretty much it. For the most part, you can build around it, but it's almost mandatory to have a cooler. People are trying coolers as well, and it's very cool to see that people are still pushing this game that way. I think the game can go that way, of course, and I think there's a lot of unexplored avenues in this game, but it's going to be very hard to explore those avenues when everything at the top is like a gal, pencil, splash, bucket, stamper, the really top high-end weapons, shot as well. So when you have all those weapons that kind of are just on easy mode, like, gal doesn't even have to try. There's gal privilege for a reason. Shot, you just sit there and you can spam Zukas, you can paint, you can be aggressive, you can do so many things. Same thing with splash, you're just a Picasso just painting the entire map. There's these weapons just make the game easy mode, and why pick up other weapons that you have to try so hard with when you can just pick those weapons and win with them. So that's another aspect to what makes comp difficult for a lot of people and trying to progress it forward when the meta kind of just gets, stale and stays the same. I don't think the meta is going to hit S2 stale though, which is good. I don't think it'll hit the, quad shooter aspect, gal, K-shot, zap and jet. We're not going to hit that type of meta with like a pinch of bucket and some other weapons. But I definitely feel like it'll get stale with some of the weapon combos that people will be able to use and, team building wise. So the meta just kind of adds on to the layer of how people are feeling, what's the meta like, am I going to be able to find a team, and it just kind of compounds, and that's what makes people just kind of look back at the game and go, oh, this is, what am I going to do? And I feel like this is more of an individual level, not a community level, where just each individual has to take a step back and go, oh, what am I doing? What do I want to achieve from this game? And that's kind of what comes down to at the end of the day, is like, where are your aspirations with this game? I don't know where my aspirations lie. I want to get a couple more NFTs. I want to get a couple more tournament wins. Like, I know my aspirations. I know where I stand with this game, but other people have to start asking themselves that question. Where do they stand? What do they want from the game? What are they hoping to achieve? All those different questions that, individuals can only ask themselves. Not to mention the other compounding thing that ties on top of all these different questions is there's other games out. So when people are asking themselves what they want to do with their future, they get to look at the future and see what games are coming out for the future. We also know we're getting a new console next year as well. So you have all these questions of, there's this game that I'm playing now too, and then, oh, look at that new game that's coming out. Look at that new game that's coming out. Look at, like, GTA 6 is coming out, and I know like a majority of people are going to pick up GTA 6 because they want to play it. There's Monster Hunter Wilds that's coming out as well. You're getting all these, like, next year is like stacked, and we don't even know what Nintendo's bringing to the table. Nintendo could bring like an amazing Mario game that maybe has multiplayer, and we all decide to play Mario multiplayer comp. Like, there's so many different things Nintendo can bring to the table next year as well that just kind of keeps people away from the comp scene, because they rethink their priorities and they go, well, I would rather just play other games right now instead of stressing about Splatoon and just kind of move on with myself. Now, this next thing I'm gonna bringing up and talking about, I think it might be a little bit more of a hot take, maybe, or some kind of, might be a hard pill to swallow, perhaps. I think that we honestly make getting better at this game a little bit more difficult than it needs to be as well. And I think the skill level disparity in the div system might cause an artificial barrier for some teams and put people in certain mentalities that prevent them from getting better and kind of getting stuck. And what I mean by that is I feel like a lot of lower div teams are too scared to enter something like the open level tournaments like an SOS or an 8-bit or even Prison Break or Coral Clash High Tide. I think like people are just too scared to enter them. And yes, you may go in there and get bodied, but you're not going to learn anything if you're not going up against better people. When you're constantly put in situations that you have to keep adapting to, that's when your skill starts to grow. I think, the fact that people just keep finding, people in their div level and just keep playing the same people over and over in their div level, I think that kind of sets a precedent for people to be stuck in their skill level. They just don't excel in any area because it's just like, oh well, you're just still playing easy, medium, or hard mode. I'm not saying I'm not saying the teams that you scrim against are like easy or anything. Maybe you're struggling, but I'm saying like if you keep playing a game on easy mode the whole time, when you switch it to hard mode, of course you're not going to have a good time because you don't understand. You never even, decide to switch it. But if you stick with that hard mode and you keep going and going and going, that's going to, bring yourself up. You're going to find yourself playing better against these harder level people. Recently I did a scrim the other day. I went up against people that I lost to at Riptide this year. I was doing so much better against them in this scrim. I was proud of myself. I was like, man, the grind has paid off because I keep putting myself in these situations. I keep going up against these higher level teams, going into these open level tournaments, asking people to play with me, having different people to play with me, and just keep going in there and just trying my hardest, because that is how you get better. And keeping yourself in the little box where you're just like, oh, I'm div 7, I'm gonna keep playing against div 7 players. Like, no, go out and play these open level tournaments. Learn, like, why are these people beating you so bad? Learn what's learn what they're doing to beat you down so bad. Is it mechanics? Do you need to work on your mechanics? Is that what's happening? Is it team play? Maybe you need to work together with your team better, or just maybe you as an individual need to do something. Like, there's so many aspects that if you put yourself out there, you will get better. And that's how I got so good at Splatoon 2 really fast, is I just kept playing against good people, because that's all there was in S2. When I joined S2, I joined at the end. There was no updates, so all the people I was playing against were just good people. I was just constantly playing against good people. I was doing PBs and these people would just come in and smack me around nonstop until I learned to stop getting smacked around. And yes, it will be demoralizing. Yes, it will suck. But I believe everybody, if they, put their mind to it, and if you really want to get better at this game, put yourself in those uncomfortable situations. Do some pickups with some people. Reach out to people and really get a different perspective. Like, reach out to higher level players on Twitter. Do something like that. Just anything like that. Just, if you want to get better and you really like, if you've asked yourself all the questions that I presented earlier and you yes, I do want to win, throw yourself into the lion's den. Just get in there, play some open level tournaments, convince your team, do whatever it takes to get better, and that is how you will get better. And I think that would bring a lot of things closer together skill wise, because if you look at the skill disparity between everything, like at the very top you have these people who have basically like a decade's worth of experience in the comp scene, and then as you keep going down, it's just like people, the gap gets bigger and bigger. So I just think as a community, and if you're a lower level team, lower level player, all these different things, throw yourself out there, put yourself out there in these harder situations. You will see results with the work that you put in, I promise you. And in turn, if all of us are grinding out these tournaments, all of us are really thriving to be better, we've all asked ourselves, yes, this is what I want, we're going to see more tournament turnout. We're going to see more people playing in all these open level tournaments and stuff like that. And it's going to be great. I think that would definitely, add some revitalization to the scene, is we all put our best effort forward and enter. But also, we're also in that, period where It's some growing pains. It's everything that I said before and my hot take that I just gave, where it's like, what do you, the individual, want to do with Comp Splatoon? Because I already know the answer of what the community wants to do. We as a community, we want to have these tournaments. We want to have fun. And it's not even just tournaments either. Comp Splatoon isn't just tournaments. It's playing with your friends, hanging out with people. Honestly, if I wasn't competing at Riptide, I'd still go to Riptide. Like, it's fun seeing all your friends, bringing people together. And that's what Comp Splatoon has done so gloriously, because it is a team game and it brings us all together. It brings us, non-comp players. Like, I'll go to Riptide. There's salmon runners who are going to Riptide. They don't even play comp. They just go to Riptide. They're just to hang out. Like, that is the beauty of Comp Splatoon. It gives people who are just casual watchers and audiences of the game, it gives them something to watch. They get to see their friends. They get to see other people they don't even know compete at the highest levels. They get to see the game played like they've never played before. If they're only playing Turf War or Salmon Run, they get to just see the game in a different light in this setting. And I think that's the beauty of comp. And that's what the community wants for comp. And that's why comp will not die. It will only die if we stop doing what we're doing right now. So for the people doom posting isn't going to kill comp. Some people are like, oh, if you keep doom posting, it'll kill comp. It's not going to kill comp. Doom posting isn't going to kill comp. The only thing that kills comp is if the organizers, the players, everybody just gets apathetic towards the game and they just don't care anymore. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. But I can see small breaks, I can see reflective moments, and I feel like that's just what the community is going through right now, is a reflective moment of what is the future of this game. That's my thoughts, though. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.